You guys can all hear us, right? We can project. It's okay? Yeah? Okay, perfect. Well, in case it wasn't clear, I'm Koe.
I'm Will.
Yeah, and we're MovieBuffs. We have a podcast where we talk about all things movies and TV in Kenya and beyond. So if you love film, if you love TV, if you don't know what to watch, follow us on social media at MovieBuffs Kenya and give us a listen. Why not? Okay, should we get right into it? I'm excited. First of all, I'd love to get some initial reactions on the film, right? This is your first time seeing it. Yeah, let's go around. Let's give first word reactions. I think, as you said, Karibu customer. Yeah, Karibu customer, right?
Okay, so it was, first of all, I was late for my own birthday on a Friday. So yes. But it was a very, it took me somewhere very deep. I'm not a very deep artist, like I don't have a reason why I act, but it took me to wax where she was, and it feels good. I pray that Wajari I was able to deliver on your script. Yes, so yeah, feels good. Feels good to be on the screen.
Nice.
Yes. Other than the scenes that I was in, I wasn't there for the other. So it was very good to watch what they did. I enjoyed the conversation. I hadn't had them speak Kikuyu, so that was a good surprise.
Yeah.
I mean, like the story, like it goes into the mind of what she was thinking. Even got a better glimpse of the vision she had. So this was a good treat. Yes, yeah.
Great.
We made a movie.
Yes.
In a few words, I'll say, catch up. It's in the land. That was a good experience. Put in mind that this is my first time watching it, and I was on set most of the time, but I did watch the other actors, and seeing them perform the way they performed, I believe that we told a beautiful story. Yes.
Amazing.
Right. So moving into more about you guys, how did you guys all get your start in the industry? If you just want to take us through that in this movie and film industry.
So I'll say the heart of the art always. I was born with it, So I didn't conform. Bearing in mind, I came from a background where my parents are both teachers, and convincing parents to pay for you film school because they did film and performing arts. Then you know what happens in Kenya, the industry. I was a producer, writer, director. Then economy hit me, had to go back home. I left for 10 years, so this is a year that I'm making my comeback. Yes.
Ooh, we love a comeback moment, don't we? Love a comeback.
So I did a comeback like she's keep on.
Hey.
I'm on these posters right now.
Not one, but two, but three.
Yes.
Where did I make my start? I think I've always been a performer or hero wannabe. Because growing up, I went to Rambo. My heroes were Rambo. I don't call him Sylvester Stallone. It's Rambo and Michael Jackson. So you can imagine in between. That's what I wanted to be.
Yeah.
I had my first performance. I was doing air guitars to an Esther Wahome clip. People who remember it. And then my father or my mother said, hey, there's something in the lip sync that I was doing. That was my earliest memory of a performance. And then church, that was the place where most of us used to have socialization. It was either school, church, or relatives. Weren't allowed to play with the neighbors. So because church is where we were freer, we got into drama stuff, and the rest is history.
Lovely.
Yeah, thank you.
I fell in love with acting accidentally. I used to be a stammerer. And now the only way that I could make sure the starter inapelekana na whatever I'm saying was when I'm acting, because I became someone else. And that is the only time I could not stutter. It came slowly. Ikanitoka pole 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 pole. So I started from, I'd say high school. I noticed in high school, I used to be that boy, that the silent boy. Kale kamenyamaza, kale kamiwani. Deep in Kiambu County. And that's why I love this film, because I got to speak Kikuyu. I only spoke Kikuyu after high school. So I can connect with the people deep there in the counties, Kamabuyo and Brasa. I started traveling, doing set books, came all the way in theater, because in Kenya, that is the only school then. We're talking about 2006. Started like 17 years ago. Mimi ni mzee, imejificha ndani. So I did theater for some time, and then in 2010 introduced to film as a featured extra in Nairobi Half Life. Came all the way now to Supermodo.
Come on now.
And then slowly stepped in television, Antipos, running a video.
Yeah.
One, two, three.
Fish.
But I enjoy short films, because short films, you get to tell a story within a short time.
Yeah.
You, in feature films, you get to go on set for longer days, months. But here you have a few days. You have to work collaboratively with the crew, the director, the people with the vision. I believe that we didn't participate in seeing each other's scenes. So we didn't know what was going on. After the editor's work and the post-production, that is when we came to see the whole picture. So working in a team and achieving the same goal, the same story. Kuna kitu nzuri kama hii.
Amazing, amazing. Now I want to fast forward now and talk about this particular project. What pulled you guys into this? What made you be like, no, I need to be a part of this?
I get to play a prostitute.
Of course.
Yeah.
The role of a lifetime, some would say. Many would say, right?
Practicing all this time. Trying to put my hoe into work. Yeah. That one for whole phases.
Amen, brother. Amen. Amen.
First of all, I know Anjeri from primary school.
Wow.
So, I'm invested in her career. I'm invested in her telling her stories. So when she reached out to me a long time ago, said this thing that I'd like to do. She told me the premise of the story, and I was like, wow, that's dope. After being in an industry long enough, you also want to do things that matter, or things that you haven't done. And I've been fortunate enough to play different roles in my career. So this was an opportunity to play a different role. And I was like, okay, sign me up. It took some time to get here. Hills and valleys too. Dark caves, like what the fuck moments. I'm sure she would be better to say it, as she just mentioned Bali. And then I said, the story speaks for itself. Like even that character, the character now that I was playing, is something that I can say, it's not just a prostitute. It's what's the thought process of this guy? Why is he the way he is? I kept asking her questions. Why does he have these condoms? Why does he have this? Why is he dressed like this? Like I wanted to understand.
Yeah.
So that if you don't understand, then you can't portray the character truthfully. Yeah. So the character was everything. My connection with her as well.
Amazing.
Okay. After I was done with the project, and I was really manifesting for a story that can tell a fat girl's story. And I'm not gonna say plus size. No. I find that very backhanded. If you're fat, you're fat. If you're thin, you're thin. That's on the period. And yes, fat people have sex too, girl.
That's on everything. Can we get snaps for that? Can we get snaps? Yes.
And yeah, I felt like it was a very, very powerful story for it is not only cognizant to only a size. It's not a matter of size. I believe anybody and everybody has had an insecurity here and there, you know, and it was important for me to want to play that role because I've had my own insecurities and I really wanted to be very raw and filtered, and I just wanted to be real. Like now, when I was wearing, that was very liberating for me because the only time you see me in makeup is during that fantasy world. But the rest, no makeup. You know, most films, we go to bed in a bra, especially the plus women and fat women. They're wearing all these corsets and everything, and it felt good to just be me. I'm home. I felt home. Like now I'm giving people rawness. It felt really good. Yes.
That's amazing.
When I first got the script from Wanjeri, mine was a phone pin. Wanjeri knew them say. So Wanjeri, we put this magic. After many years of not talking, we were like, yo, I got this role. No, not even. And I'm like, okay, let's do this. Let's make a film. And the beautiful thing about writers like Wanjeri, who's also a director, yani story yake inatoka mbali, so it's so simple when it comes to an actor, because actor anaambiwa tu, what I need from you is to assist the main character deliver this story. Kusikia tu story, I was like, okay, na mimi ni beshte yake, nampeleka badala nichangamke ama watu wakonde pia. You know, what is going on, but kitu naweza sema ni it was a beautiful journey kuenda step by step to assist the main character deliver the goal, the bigger picture of the film. And it was a beautiful thing to be a friend at a side.
Right. So, Elsafan, you touched on it a little bit, but we just want to also understand what are some of the nuances that you guys had to consider making a film that portrays sex work in Kenya.
Okay, so a very good question. I'm trying to see how much I can reveal.
Do it all. I think we all want it all, don't we? We want it all. We want it all.
We had a conversation about sex workers, you know, and having conversations with them, what it feels like to talk to them. I've talked to sex workers as well. There is this illusion that they are, I don't know, like from a different side of the mirror. So they're not in this reality, they're in a different reality. But they're just people. Just people who have chosen this piece of trade. I mean, obviously, we've heard the stories where people have been forced to it, but there are those who have chosen to be in it. So she clarified that this character, Boro, chose to be in it. Boro is someone who is exploring his world. He doesn't know what he wants to do. And so, of the options that he has given himself, prostitution is one of them. So obviously that says how many options he has at his table. What are the kinds of people who have inspired him? What are his curiosities? And so bringing that to life, it helped with the story and also the cinematography, where when she is walking through, you can see all the others aligned together, but Boro is on the side. So that means he's not among the pack. Yeah, he's uku. He's also dressed differently. Yeah, he has different sensibilities. So more than just him being a sex worker, the sex worker was his trade. Because who is the guy? And so I think there was great detail into bringing that to life, including like I've never seen a male prostitute, or at least I've never acknowledged, like maybe there's a male prostitute here other than me. Yeah. But I would not know. You get, yeah. But I wouldn't expect them to wear a bandana. I wouldn't expect them to wear a sweater, a shirt. But that's that's the guy that Boro was. So more than just bringing the nuance of the trade, it was like this particular character. What is it about?
Right.
Yeah.
Anything to add, guys?
Where you are sex? How was it?
Give me horror. It was the first time working with an intimacy coach, so it was amazing. Nice is an amazing, nice Kedenji. She's such an amazing actor, performer, but taking me through the breathing back, you know that? Because you had to like get in sync with our breathing and just feel, because there's a lot we say in acting. Some people say, "Oh, it's about faking it," but how far can you fake it? Because sex is something real. People are having sex, so what better way to bring it forward? But it was good. I'd say it was good. Felt believable. Did you guys believe it? No. Yep. You did? What the
Or fantasy. Yeah. It also those also no pressure to. So I've been in a film called Katikati. Now Katikati. The sex scene was very different. Yeah, there were so many. There's so many layers to that. Not to say that there were no layers here, but there was no weight on me to make it intimate because I'm there for a job. So that allowed me. I think most of the work was on her to express that this is the first time she's handling any of this junk.
Literally, right?
So that was mostly on her. So my work was actually quite easy. And then it was made easier by the breathing, especially that scene. So this is a behind the scenes scoop.
Ooh.
Yeah. So there wasn't much time on that day. So I needed to go back. Yeah. Remember, it was also around the time of the protest. So I needed to report to the protest. I don't know if it was before or after I came. So we shot some scenes and then I reported to the protest. Then I came back. But even on that day, I needed to leave. So everyone had to be on deck. The lights, everything had to be set up. I was also helping to set up lights because I knew I was putting the production, I was inconveniencing the production in a way, even though we had communicated about time. But for anyone who has been on set, things just don't go as planned.
They sure don't. I'm gonna tell you, they sure don't.
Yeah. So we really worked it out. Now here is where the intimacy coach came in, and even the decision to have an intimacy coach. The briefing made that scene, the fantasy. Yeah, it made that scene much easier because we had practice. We had said, okay, you can touch me here, you can touch me there, you can touch me here. Don't touch me here. Don't touch me here. Don't look at me with one eye closed. All those things. So having done all that preparation, and even under the pressure, we were still able to deliver.
Amazing.
Yeah, now you're enjoying you know, that first time to kupelekana, the whole idea, I'm taking her there. Hii story sikuwa naelewa hapa. Akifika pale pengine napelekana tu. First time ya watu wengi na kuanga ati. There's so much going on for an actor. Alafu the good thing is that you're so authentic. You're speaking Kikuyu, where Githunguri, baridi inatandika, my friend. Yeah, we can only tell that you always explain me. No. You feel it. Githunguri is so real. You need to go on that machine. It was nice.
Yeah.
Alafu thinking about so many other people, their journeys to the Zukua. So it was interesting to be part of your journey.
Tuanzeria nilishangaza How come I have a platonic friend? You. Yani nenda kubai. Margarine. What's going on?
Yani mpaka nikafeel. Sasa nilikuwa najiambia sisi watu wa Konde.
Yeah. But if I may add, there was something that you did that was very nuanced. Yeah. For guys here, you know very well that sometimes you just have to mask your emotions. You just have to bury them deep. So it's not that his character, Jonte, might not have wanted that opportunity, but because she has said she wants to be taken there, he's just going to. How you played it, you know, I could feel that like you're questioning. Excuse me, I have a dick too.
You just couldn't wait.
Exactly. You know, even how he delivered that line, I felt like there was that. We felt, as a guy, I was like, I don't know how I feel in that situation.
Yeah.
And I'm driving you in my bloody fucking car.
Far too.
Yeah.
It wasn't close. No, petrol's expensive.
She's here nagging me. I'm like, wait a minute, maybe there's a. Okay, so I enjoyed the choices that you guys made for that. Yeah.
Amazing. I want to dig in deeper into the process of actually making this film, right? Like production. I want to know, not just logistically, right? Like how long this took and, you know, what you guys were going through while you were filming, but also emotionally, right? Like we've talked a little bit about the intimacy of this, right? Not just in the physical, but in the emotional. I'd be curious to hear more about the effects that had on you and the process of actually making this film.
Okay, so I'm going to go to my favorite scene. My favorite scene is the bathroom scene, because that is where she faces all her fears and she becomes real to herself. What's now? And where was I emotionally? That was the most real I've ever been in a long time as an actor, because I took myself to if I can be honest, I've been a victim of rape, yeah, but and now I'm healed. Excuse me. So,
a survivor.
Yes, so I wanted to portray. You know, you're told as an actor, there's somewhere you go for originality and natural, but something natural that comes out to you naturally. And when Jerry was also afraid that probably I might lose myself, because you don't want to go too far. You also want to be able to remember you're still Dashiki. And that is Wax story. That is why there is derolling when you're done with such a thing. But then, lucky enough, I had a very good director. She was there with me all through, walked with me emotionally. And when I felt like, no, don't cut, let me just go on because I'm here. Can you be able to get off it? Yes, I'll be able. It's not like I'm gone too deep. I'm not that gone. With the rest of the sins, with him, I took myself to a place of my first time. My first time with now, the first time, you know, that I can say I was aware. That is exactly what I was feeling. But then with some naivety, Wax naivety because she's from Geshagi, yes. And now with our friendship here, we had really talked. And I felt very naturally, because that was the first time I was meeting fish and getting to know about fish. And it was just like a fireball. We started talking, like, it was dope.
Awesome. As she was stepping now out of the car into that world, hapo kidogo there was a pause in the story. Kulingana mimi hiyo transition from you stepping sasa from this naivety, from the Geshagi, from the lady who was praying. You remember back at home, you have that lady who you're going to go back to. And after you stepping into this world, the decisions that you make, for me hii ilikuwa kajani nimetravel nikiwa pale okay itafika tu ndio hii na imefika and naweza sema emotionally for me for Jote was just assisting works to get to the bigger picture and hiyo ndio ilikuwa the only time naweza sema emotionally that ili inaweza kusukuma but as an actor who's been there for some time and having good directions from the story, the way you interpreted things I interpreted to you, Panjari did an amazing work with the story from the script. So it was easy for us to go step by step. So you pass the ball, alafu unapatia customer.
Yeah. First of all, make more films. Yeah.
Can we applause for that really quick? Yes.
To speak on the industry, it's a difficult industry. Not that it's not difficult in other countries, but we have certain things that we have to contend with that feel unnecessary. And for you to be able to get your voice, you just have to keep going at it. The process of making a film. For me, I immediately get into character when I'm told this is your role. You just start asking questions. Okay, what is this? What am I thinking? What are the choices? Why am I this? You know. So it's an automatic process, like he said, after being in the industry for quite a while, some of these things become automatic. Then there are the mechanics of it, where the piece of art is created by the environment of the cast and the crew, you know. And I can't stress this enough. A lot of our productions die in that environment, you know. If we are not sensitive with intimacy, the sound guy would be talking about a game that's happening while we are trying to do a briefing, you know, something, or the grips person would be making jokes about the car while he's trying to get lost in this, you know, in this character, in this world. So I enjoyed the mechanics, you know, where I could see that everyone here wants to tell a good story, and those are the best conditions for any actor, but specifically for me. And the more we do it, the better we become at it, and we can tell authentic stories. And this story hasn't been told, at least not the way it was told in this film. So the more we can push ourselves to tell those authentic stories by creating that environment, the better. So for me, my experience was I was working with professionals, and then and when I had an issue, we'd discuss. Because again, it's a very emotional place. Even if I'm playing someone who has sort of rid himself of it, I'm still going through life. There are decisions that a leader has to make that are not always favorable to everyone. And I enjoyed that we were able to even sit down and talk, you know. So these are the things that happen. And I'm sure there are filmmakers here. There's a series that's coming out. That she has written, where I'm an expensive hoe.
Ooh, upgrade.
Yeah,
upgrade. Hey, come on, let's go. Yes.
Don't touch me, man. So yeah, just to say for all the filmmakers, ensure that environment is conducive for art. Yeah. So that was my process.
That's actually a really wonderful segue into what we wanted to ask you next about what it actually looks like to create a safe space, right? I think you're on the money when you say that in our industry, you know, it's still a pretty young industry, right? Like we're still trying to figure out how to really encourage this craft, how to build the old, bring the new. We're still figuring it out, right? And I think when it comes to creating a safe space where all parties involved feel comfortable and open to be themselves, to give themselves fully, I think we're still trying to figure that out. So I wonder for you three, how did you guys show up for each other when it came to creating and maintaining a safe space? I heard the oohs, I appreciate that, okay? She did her homework, okay? She thought about it, okay? I appreciate that. So yeah, I wanna ask you guys, how do you show up for each other in creating that space?
Okay, so being professional,
Mm.
coming with your lines, so that now the other person is not struggling, waiting for you to. So you have your role. There's a responsibility that I have as a cast member, and so I have to take it seriously. It's a job at the end of the day. So when I'm professional, I create that environment for the other person to be professional as well, or to have their job ease. Um, Also being sensible to the human being. It's not just okay, you have been given a job, now be responsible. You know, there's a human being as well.
Yeah.
If they need to take a break, then let them take a break. It also helps that we have the intimacy coach, because most of my scenes were based on that, and also understanding my role. So we're telling her story. So I'm in service to her.
Mm.
Yeah, and I have no issue. It's not even an ego thing.
Mm.
Yeah, my ego comes in with have I done my job well? You know, so it's, I do not have that misplaced. I don't have an issue with being in service to the main character, because if the main character delivers, then also my job is shines.
Mm.
Yeah, so for me, those are the things that I look at.
Amazing. Amazing.
I enjoyed the teamwork in the production. For the first time, I don't know how Manjeri managed to coordinate all that, because I believe she was everything from the story, which means that you have to go to the right locations, deep inside there, where because the environment also helps in telling the stories. Number two, the teamwork in the crew. It was so easy. I didn't have a problem with the technical crew. Nikikuja kwa actors, yeah, I was looking forward meeting her and Kupika. The moment I had her Kikuyu and everything, it was a bomb. Till today, yeah, I met her for the first time in this film, and I enjoyed working with her, and hope tutazidi kufanya kazi zaidi. And of course, hiyo part kubwa, the production, I don't know how you manage. You are the right person to answer this question, because you are literally the gum gonna shikanisha every aspect of production. And after production, there's also post-production.
Yeah.
So the people who sat down made sure that we have these shots to align from the editors. There's so much. So like we all know, film is a collaborative job, and everyone did their part.
Yeah.
And it's still
As well as the producer. No, BG, production coordinator, even her. She played a major role. Like I echo everyone was a team player, but every now and then you need to crack the whip. Like, okay, now we need to move, because we don't have the venue in perpetuity.
But I feel like because we were a very intimate, small crew, it was very easy to navigate, and everybody is grown as. So it was easy, and I felt well taken care of.
Right. It was very interesting hearing about your experiences on set and how you managed to get your roles together and all that. So, could you please tell us, like, what do you want the viewers to take away from this movie and the subject matter of the movie and the type of storytelling?
And if I could add also, I'd be curious to hear what you guys took away from the process, right? Because it's one thing to be on the viewer side of things, it's another to be the creator. So I'd be keen to hear what you guys took away as individuals, and then what the audience, what you hope they will take away.
As I began the project, the first time I was given the script and I read it, I kept praying and even telling Manjari, I pray that people can relate. Like I said before, whether zero size, whether you're 50 something size, you can relate. And I hope that people learn that it is okay to be selfish. It is very okay to be selfish. What do I mean by being selfish? By choosing you and knowing that you can last. And like there's a symbolism from the moment that Wax is coming from her home when she's running away with Jonte. And then Jonte is really taking his time from paying the gas. And you're like, you know what? She makes that decision. You know what? We have to go, and she crosses over. She wants to drive now. So my take home basically was I have to put myself first. No matter what, I come first. Yes.
Amazing. Yes.
Come second. There's always an opportunity for silliness. For me, what do I want the audience to? Like I said, I was committed in telling the story that you wanted to tell. So I want the audience to leave with, yeah, we want to hear another story from Jerry. Yeah, so and I'm also committed to this industry. Not in the sense that I'll die for it, yeah, but it's the industry I'm in. If it thrives, I thrive.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why. I've also seen it for the first time. Gave me a glimpse of what this lady was going through. And maybe I can infer when I have conversations with other ladies, like, what was your experience? It helps me. Have you seen the movie Transaction? So what was your experience? You know, so it's an icebreaker.
Yeah.
And if you're open to have the conversation, you know, because I'm curious. I'm actually very curious about these things. So I've left with an icebreaker. I've left with I've helped to tell the story, and now I'm pushing you to tell more stories.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, that is your problem. That's not ours. You know, find the money. Because you decided to be a filmmaker. So, yeah. So, yeah. You know, like next time he can be the prostitute. I'll drive the car. I'll speak Kikuyu. I've taken classes by there. I'm taking classes.
Amazing. Yes.
I'm taking classes. I've paid my school fees.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
amazing.
you can buy for me my books. Yeah, so I've answered what I want the audience to live with, and then what I have.
Yeah.
What I would like the audience to live with is what I enjoyed the most, and it's the kind of storytelling. So authentic. I know Kenyans, and the story is interesting. We don't want to talk about we copy a lot. We copy a lot. We try to imitate, which is okay. There's nothing new under the sun. But telling it from an authentic point, maybe from the language itself, because I didn't used to talk Kikuyu. I only talk Kikuyu because of work. I sikuwa najua Kikuyu. I agree with most in Swahili na lugha. But telling a story that will tell someone deep inside, huko chini, huko mashinani. You know, these people wanajiita wa mlima, huko. We'll sit down also and say, okay, kumbe we can tell our own story and they can be beautiful. Oh, kumbe Wajiri ulifungua kitu nzuri. And naweza taka pia kujua other people kwa sababu this was your story. I didn't know what wengi sisi tunamalizaga chuo for those days. Sisi millennials tulimaliza tukiwa virgins, most of us. So now coming to a world, this story yake, story. Okay. Also kuna reason at 25 and you're still a virgin, and your story from Gishagi, from the moment your mother started praying hivi, I can relate to a woman somewhere in Kiambu County that I know, to that guy wale wanangojea kuwatch game, who their friends ati anapelekana, who took you? Mara ya kwanza ulipelekwa na nani? Such things. There's nataka kusikia from other people also. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. Now, as we wrap up, I'd love to zoom out a little bit and talk about the industry. I'm curious to hear from you guys. What do you think is misunderstood about the Kenyan indie movie scene? What's misunderstood about the Kenyan indie movie scene specifically? Or the industry at large? What do you think are some misconceptions about the space?
Wow, that's a very good question.
Thank you.
What is understood about the indie?
That part.
Yeah. That's a very good question. I don't know. I don't know what is misunderstood. I also don't know what is understood. I think he touched on it. With in the indie space, a lot of authentic stories are being told. Yeah, but the channel and the place, the distribution where now people can get to experience is very limited. So maybe people may think that the only thing that we showcase is what's on Showmax, what's on the free-to-air channels, or Showmax, Netflix, and free-to-air like NTV and KTN. And yet there's such a vibrant, vibrant art scene. I remember in 2014, I saw, I don't know whether it is Chania Films. It was action. It was action films. They are just shots that were being shot somewhere in Meru or Central, where you wouldn't expect. Like, I honestly didn't expect. And they were doing tricks that I only see in movies. And I was wondering, hey, why isn't this big enough? So there are so many silos of information where I don't get to see what she's making. She doesn't get to see what I'm making. I don't get to hear this podcast. This is the first time. Not that you guys don't have your audience. It's just that maybe I'm in my silo and I'm not reaching out. Yeah. So I feel like what's not being understood is that it's vibrant and there's so much talent. There's so much that is needed, and that it's a community thing because our people are the stories they tell. So if we keep telling the stories that we are copying, there's nothing wrong with getting a series from outside and then converting it into like the Kenyan language. But we have so many original stories. Each and every person here is a story here in Kenya, and we can tell it if we just sit down and think about it. And it's going to be entertaining. So I hope I've sort of answered.
You have.
Yeah.
You have.
Yeah.
I'm lucky I have traveled before to several film festivals, and I got to see stories from like Tunisia. They were so authentic. Mpaka nilikuwa najiuliza, Tunisia wanaishi hivi. This, kumbe si, tumezoea sisi tu inakuanga hivi. Tunisia, they're so authentic. So when people go independent, number one, I believe to wanna risk a lot kwa sababu you have to. We are not yet there, so you have to pocket. To have to dig deep in the pocket to tell that story. Kwa sababu I believe we are still not that big as an industry. Tunaweza itajua kali sector kipulani, not demeaning it, but in a way that we still haven't gotten there. We have a lot in terms of funding such projects. We know many artists are storytellers, and kila mtu akona story yake. That one story you love to tell. Each artist ako nayo, but how many stories are told? Few. What is behind it? Number one, the funding, the marketing and distribution of such shorts. Because even the big ideas can start from just a short.
Yeah.
The short can now develop into something bigger. So nasema a lot is not yet done. It's untapped. I really love this. Number one, to you seated there, ascertain, because if you not have sat there, we will not have,
This conversation.
Absolutely.
And yes, we are there. Yeah. We are going to the steps for the but
It's true.
To add, something that is not understood is country, we struggle with self-hate and self-loathing.
Say it again.
We struggle as a country with self-hate and self-loathing. And we fail to see that even in this space of film, that's where we can find our dignity. You know, so when he says, "Oh, this is how Tunisia lives," we are such unique human beings. All of us, this whole world. You're unique. I'm unique. I have my own nuances. Everyone does. But even as a country, we do, and even within the communities. So when you start to see authentic stories being told, supermodel. You know, supermodel, Nairobi Half-Life. I dare say Katikati. Yeah. You know, Pepeta. You know. There are so many, and even the ones that personally I'm not a fan of, there are elements that, you know, that are great. So as a country now looking to heal from this self-loathing and self-hate, telling our stories authentically is a sure bet of getting ourselves out of that. Yeah, that's what I personally.
Very eloquently said. Thank you. Nothing more to add?
No, nothing.
Somebody tweet.
Then we'll go to our last question before opening up to the crowd.
Right. Okay. So our last question, guys. So as actors, as filmmakers, what advice do you have for upcoming filmmakers in Kenya?
And let me just add, this is a little bit selfishly asked because Will and I are also filmmakers. There's a little bit of shameless plug for you. Don't worry about it. Follow us on social media. So we also would love to know what advice you have for folks like us, folks like people in the crowd who want to do this work, who want to be practitioners of this craft. What advice? What do you have for us?
Write, tell stories, and please give us work. Pockets to it. And also the issue of, I pray there'll come a time whereby we could also be getting, what do you call them?
Mine.
No.
The royalties.
Yes, I
Right.
pray if you're a filmmaker, please be one among these people who will pay us royalties. Well, Jerry was the first audition I went to, and I was paid for auditioning.
Wow. Yes.
Okay.
We can snap for that. We can snap for that. Yes.
So yeah, she's doing something now. I want to see royalties.
The problem is that we focus on the British. You know, so we can't get royalties for the
No, the one advice, advice filmmakers, unaongelea watu wengine, siwezi wa advice. Sisi waambia it takes, kuna process. You cannot. Number one, we're going to tell filmmakers have very interesting stories, background stories. We all have something that's going through, so lazima, lazima ufikishe hii kitu pale kwa industry the way it's supposed to be. There are stories that they are not told. So I cannot say that they have failed to produce, they have failed to write. Because myself, I'm a filmmaker, what am I doing? It's okay, but I cannot say that I will advise them. But I know Kenyans are trying to tell their own stories. This is a testimony. This is a Kenyan story. Imeandikwa by a Kenyan, told by a Kenyan. So all I can say is that it's okay, let's keep pushing. We get there step by step. Let's utilize spaces like this. And these sessions, more, the audience grows bigger. The films are out there within time. I cannot advise filmmakers on a journey into which I don't understand.
Yeah, another moment for something silly. Yeah, you can advise and then you can add advice.
Your next career is spoken word. That's the next one. After high-paid prostitute,
Hey, come
then
on.
it'll be spoken
Come
word,
on
right?
now, I'm telling you. Also, a shameless plug. My album is out.
Hey!
Released April 1st.
Sing it right now.
Just drop some money. But anyway, one is to encourage. Yes, you're in good company. There are many who came before us, and there are many who are going to come after us. So we are part of a chain of storytellers. So there's that. There's also approach the work with dignity. There are people like 24 Birds who they don't necessarily do film, maybe like as individuals, but they really research. Yeah, really research on the stories that they tell. So you can always differentiate a story where there was research done and a story where research wasn't done, or a story where someone is trying to figure out this world, and a story where the writer or the actor has lived this world. So approach the work with dignity. By approaching the work with dignity, also look at it as farming. I found that the analogy of farming is the closest to what filmmaking is. So there's a seed, and you have to keep, watering the seed. You have to, sometimes the harvest is wrong, and you have to start all over again. You can use that to say it's not the first draft that's going to appear on the screen. And even while we are shooting it, we're still rewriting it. When you're editing, you're still rewriting it. When now that you add the audience, how the audience is going to interpret that, I'm not responsible for that. And I don't need to answer for your interpretation. We can have a conversation, but I'm not responsible for that. You become writers as well. This is why this person did this. So when you approach with dignity and you look at the whole process, I feel that those baby steps, they add up. And also to say, like 10 years ago, and what we are making now is worlds apart. So I think we give ourselves, a pat on the back and give ourselves credit for what we are doing. Collaboration as well, collaborate, but also remember that it's a delicate place. Be very careful who you collaborate with. So don't go wide-eyed, thinking that everything is going to work. Yeah. And also have thick skin, for not just for other people, but for yourself, because you second guess yourself at every time. Yeah. Have sex.
Doesn't hurt. Doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, amazing. Now we'd love to open it up to the crowd. Anybody have any questions? We'll take a couple. I saw your hand shoot up, so give it to us. Give it to us. Stand up, if you will, so that everyone can see your beautiful face.
Yeah.
Girl, you better do it. There we go. Hi.
I'm a journalist, and I have questions for everyone, so I'm going to talk really fast so that I get them all out. One, Jerry, in terms of making a movie about sex, how difficult is that with classification? And do you have to hand in your script and then they read it and then or is that also related to the funding that you can get for the movie, so you don't have to go through those channels? For the two main actors, what other movies come to mind that are Kenyan that do sex well? Because I feel like we also don't do a lot of African sexuality in film. It's we think even African porn, not that I want that. I don't know.
Bollywood.
A lot of the times, we can be very awkward in how we make sex, and obviously we're having sex Africans, many people, right? Yeah. So what other things do you think do sex well? And for Fish, okay, so there's something that you said about how theater back in the day was what school was. Do you think that this thing is something that can be taught, and do you think there are schools that do everything that you guys have just talked about well now? Okay.
Girl, good for you. That was a lot of questions. You asked them in 2 seconds, too.
Okay, so I'll start with the classification thing. I was terrified, too, because of the influence of one motherfucker. Yeah. Shall not be named, but we all know him.
Brad, fuck it.
So what I did, I submitted the longer version, which, they know we shot quite a lot of stuff, and it was a bit more chaste.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what, if they ask us, we make it shorter, because they didn't hear that opening line. I knew if one Christian person hears the opening statement, we're not going to get classified. I knew that. So my workaround was that I sent them an earlier version, but they do, to get your license, you have to send a synopsis and you send a script. So we got, I think also because I just love money, they just allowed us to do it. But I literally got my classification on Wednesday, and we were launching on Friday, and it's rated 18 plus. So I did get it at least. Yeah, that's that. And then about funding, DocuBox are just incredible people. That were my first confirmers of my madness that this is correct. And I think once I had their endorsement, everybody else was pitching to had confidence in the idea.
Amazing.
On your next question, like one film that did sex good, Rafiki. Yes, that's the only thing. If you haven't watched Rafiki, go look for it. Rafiki. Yes.
Katikati.
Haven't
By
watched
the way,
it.
Katikati won the directorial review at the Toronto International Film Festival.
Oh, we love Tiff. Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Specifically.
That's what took it over. That was it.
Yeah,
that was it. Yeah.
I agree with you. We are awkward with sex. Again, just to go back to the set environment and maturity of everyone. So I remember the set. Yeah. So I caution people, don't now come, hey, today is the day.
Yeah.
You know, that's bullshit. Yeah. So there's maturity, there's space for maturity and space for growth. So the reason why we are not like, throwing examples is because that's one of the pieces that we can take bigger baby steps. Yeah.
Amazing. I think we have time for 2 more questions. Anybody else?
He had his
Ooh.
question.
Oh, please continue.
17 years ago tukijoin industry kunasema theater is where you sharpen the skill.
Yeah.
You said film, you go get the film, and then for television, you go make the money. But now things are changing, and they're changing fast. So my formula might not be the formula that she will work on and I go through. There's online, so storytelling in a change every day. You start something like Reels or X Spaces, the storytelling, and tomorrow you find out that zimeko on another level.
Yeah.
So tuko place fulani, sijui exactly pale tuko, but tunaenda kutokea a different place, pale structures zitakuwa more better. Yes, but this can be taught. Kwa sababu kuna wale already washaanza kwa whatever formulas walitumia kufika pale wamefika.
Yeah.
But now it's them given a chance. Are they ready to go nurture young people? Sijui pale itakuwa in schools, in universities, I don't know. So itategemea na mtu na journey artistically and I'll go through. Because there are people who will do workshops. There are people who are doing them as we speak. There are people who will go for individuals. Let me go with her, I'll work with her, I'll collaborate with her, and we'll make something beautiful. So projects, timelines, na vitu kama hizo zinachangia history yote.
Sana.
Asante.
Anybody else? We're good?
Yeah.
All right, 2 more questions. Miss Beige, I saw you wave your hand, please.
First, I'll begin with expressing my awe and adoration. That was such a phenomenal and arresting writing and delivery of the story. It was very poignant in the centering of Wax's narrative, and what I saw was very deliberate supporting roles, which I thought I knew what I was coming to see with a film about a 25-year-old virgin, but I was definitely caught off guard, and I found it's ended, and then I thought, hey, thank God, because it's heavy, it's a lot. And I say all this this leads me to ask, what are I noticed things in terms of how the gender roles and dynamics are played. First of all, with Jonte be giving her space to feel what she's feeling, not needing to like be her savior. When she says, "Who'd want me?" he doesn't take that as an opportunity to be like the bigger guy. I would, which I was expecting. As you are also wondering, like, I'm just driving her. I was really waiting for him to do something that was self-serving. And then also noticing that there were only 2 female actresses, and from those, and the rest were male, and the antagonists I was perceiving were the female voices, from Wax to the receptionist. I was expecting to be made very uncomfortable by the male presence, but a lot of the discomfort was from Wax's monologues and her own demons, and also the way the female voices were making her feel and internalize. So I say all that to ask, what were, from the writer as well as the actors, what were some conscious and intentional ways that you tried to, what gender tropes or dynamics were you very conscious in not giving space in this 30-20 minutes that you had to tell the story?
Thank you. Thank you for that beautiful question, comment. Thank you so much for really living inside the story, and you just watching it the first time, so I'm so grateful. This story is the second of 4 films that I've been working on, and I call them my 4 fantastically feminist films. I am creating a feminist utopia, but I'm also reflecting people that I know. I've got friends, male friends who are homies, and I want to reflect that exists too, that we can show men a different light. And I'm so grateful for how both of them approach, because I select them because I knew who they were as people, like your characters, like your integrity as human beings was so important for me even before I gave you the role. And that's why I had him like 2 years before, and he was just like, okay, I'm ready, number two, I'm ready. So I already knew he understood what was needed and he would deliver. So he had both the integrity as a human being and then also the acting chops. And when Gabby came on board, I was like, this is somebody who understood the story. Like when we were talking, so the process of auditioning was, I put a call out and I asked people to send in a 1-minute monologue in Kikuyu. Because I was like, I have to hear that you know Kuk proper, like you're in the world. Because I wanted you to feel super authentic. Because I'm with you about like, we need to tell our own stories. Like, we want to know about Tunisia and put Tunisia to know, let's Kenya. It's really important to me. So once I did that, then I narrowed it down, and then I had a one-on-one with her. She did her monologue, she did her improv, and we were just vibing. And after I was like, what do you think about all this? And the conversation we had was like, she gets it. And then when we came and did the auditions together, she was really wonderful. So all those things like really made me feel like, okay, they've understood the interiority of the character that I'm looking for. And then on set, I was really, it was so joyful to see how quickly they became friends. Like, I bought their friendship, and I was like, yay, I'm happy, like, it feels like new kweli. And I think a lot of it was because, not only because they're good, but also because they were just being how everyone every day is. Just talk, just are. And that was such a joy for me to see them connect with that idea. But, like, I was for sure making a feminist utopia. Like, this is the world I want to live in, where women have sexual agency, where they have the money to do what they want, or they can save up for it, and the only thing getting in their way is themselves. And I was hoping to show a way that if you just confront yourself, it's difficult, but then so much happiness is beyond that. That's why it's had a happy ending. The last thing you hear is her laughing.
Amazing. Anything else you guys want to add?
They were professional. They felt safe. Like he was safe, very safe. Ours was from the intimacy coach. We knew what we were to bring on the table. I felt good around him. I felt really safe around him. So yeah, that was good.
First of all, I think you're a writer. Yes, yeah.
Yes, you are. Claim it.
Yes,
Claim it.
Yeah, you are a writer. And then this is unlocking something because I didn't look at it that way. I didn't think there was any gender trope that I needed to downplay or upplay. I was given a character, and the character made sense, and I just read with it. So what that has opened is there's space for conversations about these things, and I like what you said, like telling different different story about men. That these kinds of men exist. I'm not going to claim that I am as kind as Boro, or as patient, because he's patient and he's kind. He takes time to okay, you okay? Try to convince. Me, the first one, once I see the bacon, I'm like, cheers. Gush me outside. Yeah. So yeah, that was just that was a very interesting interaction. So I've learned something. So when back to what am I taking? Taking that it's a way we view each other as genders. Yeah, different genders. I'm not aware of that. You're also not aware of, and that conversation would help in how we enjoy this life.
Actually, this one, so it was so intentional that it would be on the first day. So intentional. Oh, that was good. Sikujua hapo. Asante. Kumbe nimebanga hivi. It is nice. It is nice to feel that people also view as a safe space. Asante, that is something already. And you say that you personally as an actor, Nasima Nico, I don't send headshots.
Thank you.
I don't anymore. Sindiliacha. There's like a certain blow. There's like a certain. If you don't know me by now,
That's understandable.
Yeah.
I'll come. If you have a role, can you try this monologue? There's this scene. There's this monologue. So number one, you handpicking talent and knowing this story. These are the kind of people that are Kakue. Already, that's why I asked. I don't know how you coordinated all that. Baka crew, because I believe it was the first time I worked with Baby Boy as a cinematographer. For the first time, niliona sound engineer tofauti kwa set unajua, but everyone came in a pack. We've never worked with anyone in that set before. And hey, women are genius. Yes. So, Mudify kazi si ati nimesema.
Better recognize. Don't ask him for headshots. Last warning. Okay, when you guys are making your movie, don't ask him for you.
Got it. Noted.
Okay.
Noted.
Even me.
Yeah. Amazing. I think we have time for one more, right? Anybody in the white over here?
Hello.
Hi.
Linyoni. This was so amazing. Congratulations to Anjali and the cast and the crew. I had so many questions. I'm happy that the two ladies who come before me have asked everything. I guess the thing that I'm most curious about right now is the fourth actor who, first of all, I was like, oh my god, who was the location scout for this thing? And then it's Salome who's the fourth actor. Yeah, just please tell me more about Salome. Like, how did Salome find this place? And with the way Salome was acting, I was like, location, person who's, yeah, so
Location. So Salome is my cousin. And her middle name is Wanjeri. So Wanjeri is not like that, but just insane. And so we shot it in Githongori because for everyone's safety, because we want to shoot it in the city, but we knew Mandamano time and people wanted to participate, but also there's the reality of it. So we took it to my shans in Githongori. And and this is, I think maybe you experience it when you're doing Supermoto too. There's something about being outside of the city that you just tap into community and people are just willing to just be with you, because we're shooting at night, which means like deep into the night. And guys were just, watu wameweka hapo nje, wana to relax, on a coffee. So it was so wonderful to have that as an element. But Salome also worked for the CDF, so she knew a lot of places. And this space we shot is actually a working lodge. We just picked a day that wasn't busy, like our scouting and things, and the spaces, and we're like, so you are not so busy. They're like, that's your wiki, you can come. And that's exactly what the room looks like. It's really quite beautiful like that. The 1,000 bob, if you want to go. Very well, thank you. The men will not be there, but no place exists. And then Wax's home is my brother's house. We were shooting in my home compound. So my family has been a big part of making this possible. And I'm like super, super grateful. So yeah, and we, initially the cashier was meant to be a man because I realized, and he said it correctly, we've never seen the other side of things. And it was such a wonderful opportunity to really build the law around it. Like how is she selecting a guy? How does that world work? And part of it was that I imagined that a man would be, I was imagining that typical Gikuyu man, like his one who owns the brothel and said, like that's what I imagined first. And then I didn't quite get that after. When I saw them together, I was like, I think we need a more female energy here. Because also that sassiness of Nairobi, since we were shooting in Geshagi, I needed that. And Salome is just so nice. She gets it, she doesn't act. She just volunteered for the role, and lucky us, she's incredible.
Amazing.
Oh, and she did subtitles too. I mean, she's all around incredible. She's the one Jerry, I'm not surprised. But Salome is incredible.
Amazing. And with that, thank you guys so much. Thank you, our esteemed panel. What an amazing conversation. What an amazing short. Claps for everybody. Clap for yourselves. Snaps, claps, we'll take either. I'm Chloe. That's Will. We're Movie Buffs. Like I said, shameless plug. Follow us at MovieBuffs Kenya on all social media platforms. We're on all of them. Letterboxd, TikTok, Instagram, the list. Thank you guys so much for showing up and showing out and engaging. I love this. I could do this all day. Thank you guys.
Thank you guys so much.